everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Swastika and today I'm back with another video. So last week I posted a video on acid and alkalis and it was very studious. Not very studious, but yeah. So I decided this week that I would make a fun video. So this is all about stories by me, Swastika Prasad. Let's get right on to it. So this is all about stories. I don't remember when I made it, but yeah, I made it on January 24th. Just darling. Right? No, I didn't make it on January 24th. No. That's wrong. Never mind. I don't remember when I made it, but let's get on to it. So in this I'll be covering the different types of stories and I will be telling you my favorite kind of story. So yeah, let's get right into it. Why not? So, what are stories and how do they help? So, yeah, I'm a bit lazy and I don't want to read all that. So, if you want, you can pause the video and read it, or I will just explain the first paragraph of it so you can just get a gist of it, right? Stories help us explain everything in our experience, from science to relationships, from feelings to memories, and from questions to objections. And with every story we hear, read, or listen, our mind makes cognitive and emotional connections that shape our perspective of the world. So, this was like a very deep meaning of what are stories and how do they help. Yeah. And let's move on. Genres of stories. So this is a boy. He's telling a very interesting story to his three friends here, and they're sitting like, whoa. They're sitting like that, and look at him. He looks so naughty, and they're all very cute. Okay, moving on without wasting time. Right? Stories can be found in many forms and genres. Number 1, fantasy. Woohoo! So fantasy is my first favorite story genre. So one very big example of fantasy is Harry Potter. I really love Harry Potter, and I can also mimic some of the accents of the British accents of some of the characters, but more about that later. That was very bad. I'm sorry for that. But you can laugh, guys. I hope that made you laugh. Anyway, by definition, fantasy is a genre that typically features the use of magic, that I told you about Harry Potter, or other supernatural phenomenon in the plot, setting, or theme. Magical or mythological creatures often feature, such as Buckbeak or hippogriffs, that is in the third book of Harry Potter and the Prison of Azkaban, as well as races other than humans, such as elves, dwarves, or goblins. You can see goblins in Gringotts, the bank, right? There's your favorite fantasy genre in a nutshell. Drama. This is a role play, I think, and I know just one drama. It is no, I know many dramas. Macbeth, for example, Merchant of Venice. And yeah, there are many more, right? Drama is a mode of fictional representation through dialogue and performance. It is one of the literary genres which is an imitation of some action. Drama is also a type of play written for theatre, television, radio, and film. I love to watch dramas. There was one drama of Harry Potter also, the last 8th book, I think. Yeah. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. It was a screenplay. Yeah, I never watched it though because it was on Broadway, I guess. But I watched snippets of it and I read the book, but it was really nice. Okay, moving on. Fairy tales. Number 3, fairy tales. A fairy tale is a children's story in a magical setting about imaginary characters that include fairies, dwarves, witches, angels, trolls, talking animals. So that's a lot. I mean, I don't know why I decided to mention all of them, but I really enjoyed mentioning all of them and they were beautiful. Okay, and I forgot to mention princesses and princes, right? It is also known as the folklore genre written in the form of short stories. So this side you can see, who is this? Snow White? Yeah, this is Snow White, right? And there's Cinderella. There is many other fairy tales. Like Tinkerbell's fairy tale. That's all I know. I'm not very girlish, My favorite color is blue, by the way, if you didn't know. Okay, moving on. Folklore. So I mentioned here that it is also known as a folklore genre. So this is folklore. Folklore is an expressive body of culture shared by a particular group of people. It encompasses the traditions common to that culture, subculture, or group. These include oral traditions such as tales, proverbs, and jokes. In my religion, never mind. Okay, never mind. Moving on. Fiction. I don't know many folklores, but if you want to take, there are no. That is not. If you really want to take folklore, we can search Google for the folklore, right? So I'm gonna search Google for folklore, right? Because I don't know folklore or anything about folklore. No, that is a studio album by Taylor Swift. Seriously, person? Folklore examples. Okay, Goldilocks. Yes, it is a Goldilocks. Yeah, the white elephant and wait. Famous folklore tales. The Pied Piper, Goose Girl, Goldilocks. Yeah, there you have it. Your famous folklore tales. Yeah. Now let's continue, right? Let's continue. Okay, so fiction. Genre fiction. I mentioned fantasy before. This is fiction. So there are many types of fictions: science fiction, historical fiction, crime, western, fictional, horror, comedy, blah blah blah. So many. Genre fiction is a type of novel that has more more mainstream, populist appeal than literary fiction. Genre fiction usually comprises genres such as romance, mystery, thriller, horror, fantasy, and children's books. There's also science fiction. I really like science fiction about the aliens and stuff, but I also like horror. Yeah, I like horror. Conjuring is a horror, right? But I'm not sure whether there's a book on that. Annabelle, your wish. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, moving on. Science. This is under fiction. So I'm going to be mentioning these 6 here. No, 6. Yes, 6. I'm going to be mentioning those in the future 6 slides, and after that, moving on to others. Science fiction. Science fiction is a genre of speculative fiction. Okay, I love this word. I don't know where I found it from, but I love it. The moment I saw it, I knew I wanted to include it in that. Right? It's a genre of speculative fiction that contains imagined elements that don't exist in the real world. Science fiction spans a wide range of themes that often explore time travel, space travel, are set in the future, and deal with consequences of technological and scientific advances. For example, aliens, right? So I don't know if you've read the book. It is not a very very famous book, but I have read it. It's called Arthur and the Mysterious Artifact. I loved it. It's example of science fiction. Another Codex, right? Yeah. It's also example of science fiction. I love them. They're the best. Okay. Next. Historical fiction. Historical fiction is a literary genre in which the plot takes place in a setting located in the past. Works of historical fiction are sometimes criticized for lack of authenticity because of readerly criticism or genre expectations for accurate period details. Yeah, I don't quite know about historical fiction, but I think you can take these stories. I don't remember any stories about historical fiction. I don't think I've read any because I find them very quite boring. Sorry, but in my perspective, I find them quite boring because they don't have that adventurous thingy in them. So yeah, no, I just thought she's wearing a shoe right here. Okay, anyway, moving on. So this is crime. Crime fiction is a genre of fiction that deals with crimes, their detection, criminals, and their motives. First is a crime, usually a murder, then there's an investigation, and finally the outcome or judgment, often in the shape of the criminal's arrest or death. Right. So this is not a PG. This is not a. This is. I think this is a PG film, a PG genre. But if you can watch it, it is a Hindi movie. It's called Drishyam. I'm pretty sure you can find it on the internet with English subtitles. So go ahead and find yourself the movie. It's really really great and it focuses on crime. Right. Okay. Moving on. Western. Western is a literature, film, and television genre. Westerns are primarily set in the American Old West. Uh, Old Town. I don't know if you know that rhyme. Old Town Road. It's I don't know. Between the late 18th century and the late 19th century, and tell the stories of cowboys, settlers, and outlaws exploring the western frontier and taming the Wild West. I haven't read many books about this genre, but I'm pretty sure they're very very interesting. Yeah. Okay. This is inspirational. Books in the inspirational fiction genre contain stories of people who overcome adversity or reach new levels of understanding, that inspire and encourage the reader to do the same. The books are meant to uplift as well as entertain. I haven't read any book of inspirational. I'm not pretty sure. Okay. Okay, moving on. Horror. There we go. This is my favorite. It's not my favorite. This is my second favorite genre. And you can see that there's a pumpkin head man, and there are some splattered paint in the back, and there's an old man sitting there waiting to prank anyone who comes up. Right. Horror is a genre of speculative fiction, again speculative, I love it, which is intended to frighten, scare, or disgust. Often the central menace of a work of fiction, horror fiction, can be interpreted as a metaphor for the larger fears of society. I'm not sure about any books, but there are many movies of horror, Conjuring and Annabelle, but they're PG, I think, right? So don't go ahead and search for themselves on YouTube, right? Don't, right? So I'm not sure whether Conjuring and Annabelle have books about them, but I don't know. Comment down below, okay, if there are books there. Fable. The main difference between fable and fairy tale is that fable usually has a moral lesson at the end, whereas a fairy tale is essentially for entertainment. Fable is a literary genre, a second fictional story in prose or verse that features animals, legendary creatures, plants, inanimate objects, or forces of nature that are anthropomorphized. Yeah, and that illustrates or leads to a particular moral lesson, a moral which may at the end be added explicitly as a concise. So I love the Aesop fables, which is an example of fable. But if you want specific stories, there is Pinocchio, there is the Country Mouse and the City Mouse. There is so many of them, right? There are tons of them. The internet is literally filled with them, so you can find them. This is Pinocchio. This is where I got the Pinocchio idea from. Right, moving on. Humor or comedy. Comedy is the best in the world, but it is my third favorite. So comedy or humor is a literary genre and a type of drama work that is amusing and satirical in its tone, mostly having a cheerful ending. The motive of this dramatic work is triumph over unpleasant circumstances by creating comic effects, resulting in a happy or successful conclusion. So there's a Hindi movie. It's called Dhamal, Total Dhamal, Golmaal Returns, Total Golmaal. There's so many. You can just go and watch them with English subtitles. They're great. Okay. This is biographies. Biography is a literary genre that portrays the experiences of all these events occurring in the life of a person, mostly in a chronological order. Unlike a resume or profile, a biography provides a life story of a subject, highlighting different aspects of his or her life. So there is a movie on this person. He's called Subhash Chandra Bose. I have made a video about it, so go and watch it. It's on my channel. And this biography. It's a new movie. It's called, I don't know what it's called, but I'm pretty sure it's called Shakuntala Devi. So it's a biography of Shakuntala Devi, the human calculator. It's in Hindi, but I'm pretty sure you can find it with English subtitles. So that is it for today. Thank you for watching. Comment down below which is your favorite type of genre, and I'll see you next time. Bye.